is dreaming. Watch the ceiling. Try to draw the line between what you needed. I couldn't see it. So when you feel broken and you find nothing left to lose, let me take all the weight off of you. If you crash into the ocean, no one's gonna save you like I do. Take a chance, take my hand, I got you. Let me hold your heavy heart. Let me hold your heavy heart. Let me hold your heavy heart. So when you feel broken and you find nothing left to lose, let me take all the weight off of you. If you crash into the ocean, no one's gonna save you like I do. Take a chance, take my hand, I got you. Under flashing lights, say your last goodbye. 'Cause you know I ain't never leaving. Yeah, you know, when you feel broken, no one's gonna love you like I do. Take a chance, take my hand, I got you. Let me hold your heavy heart. 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 Let me hold your heavy heart.
Whew, well, I'm ready. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm definitely ready.
Oh, man, because I'm excited. I'm excited. After all the research I did, I'm 10 times more excited. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this going.
Distance nerding.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. It is time. I'm ready to talk and build some Lego because, ladies and gentlemen, you have stumbled on to the other best kept secret, because the best kept secret is the download on Tuesdays, but the other best kept secret on the internet. You are watching The Build. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your boy, Young Phil. This handsome devil to my right here is the beard that is attached to the graveyard. Graveyard, how you doing?
Yes. Good. Glad to be back. I was a week off, but yeah. I'm excited. Whenever I don't have to do work at night, I was gonna say
when the real world decides, you know what, I'm taking you away from your joy.
Yeah.
You know what? It sucks even more because our guest last week was from Chicago.
Oh man.
So I was like, oh my God, like the two of you guys could have hit it off. Like,
yeah.
So much more than we already did. And dude, if you missed that, Poe Noir is an amazing book. Got to throw it out there again, guys. Check it out. So with that, let's get into sponsors because I want to get right into this, right? So let's get into sponsors. Ladies and gentlemen, this show is brought to you by Pod Decks. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Pod Decks are unique our question and episode starting prompt in the palm of your hand. So whether you are a new podcaster, an existing broadcaster looking to get more engagement with your audience, or I forgot my lines.
Wow.
Normally I'm over here struggling for my lines right now, and I'm like, I don't say this every week, right?
Right.
I don't say
it 3 times a week.
I don't say it 3 times a week. I'm brain farting right now, so I actually got to pull up the copy. This is like the first time I've had to pull the copy up in forever. I apologize, everyone. I feel terrible that I actually have to have everybody wait, where it's like I lost my copy in my head. Pod Decks are a unique interview question and episode starting prompt in the palm of your hand. So if you are a new podcaster, an existing broadcaster looking to grow your audience or get more engagement, level up with Pod Decks. Check out Pod Decks, download the app, and use the code NERDING10 to get 10% off anything you order from Pod Decks. Ladies and gentlemen, both of us are sporting some Pod Decks gear right now. If you guys didn't notice, I'm rocking the Pod Decks podcaster shirt, but my boy Graveyard here is about to show off some close-up magic because he's rocking the Pod Decks cards right there. What is our question of the week, sir?
What's the biggest lie you once believed was true?
Everything? Reality?
It's perfectly. It happens to every guy.
Yeah. And then you find out it doesn't happen to every guy. That's terrible. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Pod Decks. So if you are wondering how, so Pod Decks. I'm so bad right now. I need some W. Pod Decks sponsors the show. So if Pod Decks sponsors the show, then you may be wondering to yourself, what powers Young Phil? How is Young Phil this energetic all the time? And it's because Young Phil uses the deliciousness that is Dubby. Oh, button was down. Dubby. See, I'm just off today altogether. Dubby is a brand of energy drinks created to help focus, concentration, reaction time with no jitters or crash. Dubby contains no maltodextrin, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Ladies and gentlemen, W contains Neurofactor. It's a neurotropic derived from the coffee fruit. Neurofactor helps give your brain focus and clarity, while the 150 milligrams of caffeine and 3 essential B vitamins help you stay alert and energized. Find out more about W at www.w.gg. Use the code NERDING10. Get 10% off your order. Whew. It is delicious. I'm sponsor plugs are here, but I am completely done with all this. Yes, they're saying Phil needs to restart the show.
Well, they said that you won't make it in the film business, which is ironic because you are in a movie coming out this year.
That's true. I am playing a cameo in a film. Hopefully that means that I'll actually be in a movie later on. So Cam saying Phil can't be in the movie business because he can't remember his lines. Well, no, I'm just, everybody has a fart day, all I have line. That's all you got to do.
My name's Phil.
My name is Graveyard, right? No, okay, yes. Sorry.
I'm John Mez 5000.
I wish I was making a cameo in Deadpool 3, Cam. That would be amazing. I'm Ryan Reynolds' fat stunt double. There we go. I'm Fat Pool.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm the guy that used to be buff and now is just fat. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into this. So, this week's guest is an artist, producer, creator, animator, and community hero, and he absolutely did not pay me to say that. Before I welcome him on, I actually stole a video from his from his website that I'm sure he wasn't ready for me to play, because then I'm pretty sure this is old, but it does give you an idea of the kind of work that he does. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's check this out. And I absolutely love it. So again, giving you an idea of the work that he does. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further delay, please welcome to the show the mastermind behind Hoodlin Mania, Brandon Dean Johnson.
Hey guys.
Hey there.
Hey. Yo, young Phil, I wasn't expecting you to bring up my old demo reel.
Right.
I haven't seen that thing in years. I don't know how you found it.
And I kind of figured, I was like, oh man, you know what? This is from 2017. He hasn't seen this in years.
I don't even look the same. Crazy.
That's why I brought it up. Like, right before I played it, I was like, he probably hasn't seen this in forever, but still, I found your old demo reel. I played your demo reel, and it's because it does actually still talk about a lot of the work that you do. And I was just like, wow, man, like this is still actually pretty pertinent, even if it is something old.
Well, I mean, if you don't make it in the music business or the movie business, I think you have journalism or investigative action. Kudos to you for that.
That's not the first time I've heard that.
Yeah,
I'm an amateur journalist. I didn't go to school for this. So hey, man, before we get into this, right? Let's we have some questions that we like to ask that are just kind of like getting to know you questions, right? To kind of introduce the audience to who you are, right? So before we get into your story, let's learn, right? If a movie was made based on your life, who would you want to play you and why?
Ooh, you know what? That's a good one. M'Baku, Duke. Come on. W Dukes or something. Oh,
Winston Duke.
Winston Dukes.
I don't know. I think me and him, he's a little bit more built than me, but I think we might have like the same characteristics. I think he could play me well. He does have a little bit more serious tone, but when Black Panther came out, I would go to the stores and people were like, "Are you M'Baku? Are you a stunt person?" So I'm like, "Who is this guy?" And I started looking him up, and I'm like, you know what? I think he would be a perfect me if we ever made a film about myself or something. But yeah, that's M'Baku. Also, he was in Us.
In Us, yeah.
I thought he was amazing in that. And he has some other films. I know there was a comedy on Netflix that came out that was like, oh yeah, I definitely could relate to him playing me in the future.
And I was gonna say he actually has good comedic chops. I mean, like you can see it in Black Panther, right? Like there's the whole scene where he says, "I'm gonna have my family eat you."
Exactly.
And wait, what? And he goes,
"I'm vegetarian.
We're vegetarian."
Yeah.
I was like, "Yo, that's dope." So yeah, no, that's a good answer. That's a good answer. So jumping into the next question here, we have a segment on the show called "Growing Up Geeky." Okay. What did you geek out on when you were a kid?
What did I geek out on? I mean, art in general. Like I loved designing. I love cartoons. It was such a alien thing to me. I was like, how are people doing this? What's happening? And I just started doing it on my own. And I literally would geek out every day over art. I would be drawing my own stuff. Even in class, like, I graduated high school with a 1.8 GPA. And that's because I was just constantly doing art all the time and not paying attention to anything. So I'm a true artist inside and out, and that's what I still geek out about it to this day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, I can relate as somebody who, grew up in the arts, but because I mean, my degree is actually in recording arts. I'm a recording engineer, so it's like, that's where my bread and butter was. That's music is where I was at. Yeah. And then I didn't really do anything with it, and now I'm using it for podcasting. So I mean, like, it pays in the end, right?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. So let's get right into everything about you and kind of like not why you're here, but just kind of talk about some of the things in your career and what you've done. So let's talk Hoodlins.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the Hoodlins were originally from a web show you did called Ratchet Rachel, right?
Yep.
All right. So what I gotta ask is, aside from Ratchet Rachel, because we're gonna get into her, but I mean, what inspired the characters?
Man, growing up, I would watch Sesame Street, PBS all the time. I was growing up like in the middle of nowhere, Virginia, and we didn't have cable, we didn't have satellite, and it was just the free stuff on TV. So Sesame Street was always top-notch stuff for me. Barney, and as I got older, of course, that stuff stayed the same age. And in my mind, I'm like, do these puppets grow up? Why are they not the same age as us? To where I was like, what? Let me make like a real character that actually keeps up with the adults that grew up on this stuff. So I came up with this crazy idea for a puppet named Rainbow Rachel that got blacklisted from Hollywood that ended up becoming Ratchet Rachel. And from there, man, I just was like, okay, cool. What other characters would be next to Ratchet Rachel? So I came up with 5 other characters, and out of those characters, one of them, the most iconic one right now, are the Hoodlins, which is crazy. But yeah, that all sparked from just childhood memories of watching Sesame Street. And even in high school, I was playing with puppets and not realizing like the real power of what I could do in creating my own show. But yeah, yeah.
That,
Good.
that- I was gonna say that's interesting. As far as the Hoodlins go, when you were coming up with the concept for them, were they based on anything, or was it just something in your head like this would be a good puppet?
It was just trial and error, really. With Ratchet, well, first off, with Ratchet Rachel, I had never done anything serious with puppets, but I ended up have somebody make Ratchet Rachel for me, and then from there, I was watching tutorials on how to make puppets, to where I could just make it myself. And the Hoodlins were one of the first puppets I had ever made by hand. And of course, it was from a sock, and it was very basic. But I added my own flair to it, to where now we have this whole iconic character of the Hoodlins. But it really just came from me just sitting down one day watching YouTube tutorials on how to make puppets and just making my own puppet and putting my own, again, flair on top of it. And now that we have this adorable, lovable, mischievous, destructive character.
Right. Yeah, I think it's we're doing the research myself, watching this. I showed my wife, especially with Ratchet Rachel. I'm like, you have to watch this, just because she I'm aging myself here, but we were born in the 80s, but kids in the 90s, and with the Muppets, with the Christmas Carol and all that stuff, and like Labyrinth and all that stuff. We kind of grew up with puppets and Jim Henson. And I think it's great to have the idea of them growing up. As you said, you rarely see them get into adulthood. And I think it's just a great take of it.
Right. Yeah. These characters are very Henson-esque, which is kind of what made me more and more interested.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's Jim Henson was like our childhood.
Right.
Like all the way around. So, for me, that's always stuck in the back of my head. But I'm like, what can I do to make it different?
Right.
Of course, he owns the whole puppet world, but how do I become a part of it myself? And we definitely came up with something cool over here.
Yeah, and I think did you ever watch like the Jim Henson workshops where they kind of go into the puppet creation? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's crazy stuff, but you know what? It's definitely a world that I respect, and now that I'm more in it now, it's cool. It's fun.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. As long as you're having fun with it, I think that's what's really important with what you do. I dabbled I was in drama and theater in middle school and high school, and we had to do a puppet production, and it was hard as hell for me to do.
That's funny because when I was in high school, that's when YouTube first came out.
Mm-hmm.
So YouTube came out my sophomore year, and there was one kid in school that was doing videos, and I was like, how is he doing this? Like, it's so cool. Like he's editing it the right way. He has music, and of course, like now, nearly 20 years later, it's like it's garbage stuff. But I was like, I want to do that myself. So I actually had a puppet, and I made a show called Rob and Big, and it was a play on the whole Rob and Big show from MTV.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just a muted puppet, and from there, of course, I stopped doing that, and people were making fun of me in high school for it. Like, why are you doing this? Like, what's the purpose? But now, years later, it's like, whoa, like I actually was doing this when I was 14, 15, and I'm still doing it now as an adult. Right. And having fun and making money off of it too, which is the crazier part.
Yeah, I mean, because it's in the end, it's just avenues for creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, 100%. And I do a lot of stuff in the community now, and there's a lot of kids out there that are struggling, just trying to make a name for themselves, or just trying to do something, but getting picked on or bullied for it. And I'm glad I'm in a position now where I can just tell a lot of the youth, like, hey, man, just keep doing what you do. You're at an age where you can really, the world is your oyster, and you can do whatever. Don't let anybody else tell you that you can't do it. Right. Because I had tons of people tell me, you can't work in cartoons, you can't do that. But I've gone ahead and done everything that I saw myself doing as an adult. which is cool.
Yeah, I think that is fantastic advice. Especially us growing up as nerds and stuff like that, we really couldn't display our nerdom, and it's not acceptable as it was when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great to hear that you're encouraging kids to embrace their creativity as opposed to stifling and becoming the cog in the machine.
Yeah,
right. I tell the story all the time that I played football just to hide that I went home and read comic books.
You know what? And that's fair. I love football. I actually coach football now.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you guys can't tell I'm sitting down, but I'm 6'8", about 275 pounds, and I was 6'7", 300 something pounds in high school. So I was like a number one recruit for all the schools on the East Coast when I was younger. But people saw me physically, but they didn't know me mentally, knowing that I was an amazing artist. And my coach used to say all the time, like, "Yo, it's a sin not to use your talents." And he was talking about my physical talents, but little did he know that I was extremely more talented in the arts.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I've definitely used my arts to get to where I am today.
Which I'm sure that would have killed him if he knew that you took that advice and decided to go into the arts, because especially on the East Coast, that's like sacrilegious. It's not as bad as Texas, but
I actually saw him last week. I flew back home to North Carolina, and everybody's back home is proud of me. I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
No shit, I was stationed in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
You know what, Fort Bragg, Yeah. So it's definitely known for being a military base.
Mm-hmm.
On top of we have J. Cole, the rapper, who came from Fayetteville, and that's why he came up with Dreamville.
Mm-hmm.
So small town, but very, very big connections. I had my first traveling art show with the Hoodlins out there, and when I say like the whole city came out, the whole city supported it. They're still supporting it now. My artwork is still up in certain areas across the city. I went to a local bar out there, and I had Hoodlin stickers. They had Hoodlin stickers all over the place. So for me to go into the wild of my hometown and see that, it's amazing.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
I used to frequently hang around Fayetteville. So I mean, I still know my way around Fayetteville. I still have friends that live in Fayetteville.
Well, we might have the same friends because Fayetteville is small but big at the same time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know Jovan Edwards?
Let me. It's so funny. People ask that sometimes. I'm like, let me look on Facebook.
You're like, oh man, I do know Jovan. Like,
yeah,
that'd be funny.
Yeah.
So I mean, taking it with your Hoodlin and stuff like that, it seems to be especially with your hometown supporting it, that's really awesome. And what's the reception been, obviously outside of your town and stuff like that, with your cons and everything else you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it started here in LA, so it's been amazing here. And back home, if a person hears LA, they're going to be like, oh, whoa, like famous, whatever, big, whatever. But it's been actually really good here. We go to the Comic-Cons. We've done shows out here. We've done collaborations with folks. One of our most recent collaborations was last year. We had a beer launch with a local brewery called Boomtown. And, got in contact with them, and they were like, yeah, man, we would love to do an art collaboration. So they ended up actually producing all these beer cans.
I was wondering about that because I saw that on your website, and I was like, oh man, you got a beer?
Yeah. So the Hoodlins, we have a double hazy IPA.
Oh, I'm jealous.
I'm more jealous than you, I think.
Oh, that's right, because Graveyard's a brewer.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, this beer right here will put you on your ass. It came in a pack of 4, and it was sold out. It was a sold out beer, and it was actually being sold in stores, of course, at the brewery. And it was amazing because one thing, you look at this and you think, okay, kids, whatever, but adults really gravitated to it.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't take it serious until they drank it, but it's so cool to see stuff like this happen in LA. We've had pop-up art shows, we've had installations at tea shops. And again, like through the nonprofit that I run now, a lot of the kids are seeing it firsthand of what's happening, and they're my number one fans out here. So I have, we have tons of different merchandise. A lot of it isn't like for sale yet, but this is like our newest like book bag, and we have
Nice.
another version too. So when I go to local schools, kids are always like, "Oh, I want that book bag. I need that. What is that?" So it's definitely growing some attraction now, and we're just ready for the next big move.
I mean, because the brand, I was gonna say the brand, 100%. Like looking at the way that the marketing looks like, and the way that the merchandising, shirts and things like that, like it reminds me a lot of like your Kid Robot, or like your almost like Stussy, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or maybe like a Supreme. You know what I mean? Like it's something that like I'm showing my age, man, because that's like some early 2000s stuff I'm calling out right there. But I mean, uh, that's like some late 90s, early 2000s stuff right there. Like Stussy, still wear Stussy. But I mean, like, yeah, the brand really is something that I can see, especially like younger generations looking for something that's unique.
Yes.
And something that, like, it's like, oh, how do I set myself apart with something that's dope that everybody's gonna be like, yo, where you get that at though, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I see your brand as.
Well, that's good to hear, because when I the way that I stumbled on these guys, it was kind of by accident. During the pandemic, we couldn't do live production, anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I was stuck in my apartment, and I only had my computer in my thoughts. So I was like, you know what? Let me take this character from off the shelf and see what it looks like as a cartoon character. So with my experience in animation, I was able to turn the physical sock puppet into something animated. And at the beginning, I hated it. Ooh, I hated it so much. I was like, this design is ugly. It's lazy. But then I started posting it on social media, and I got more encouragement from people around me than I was getting from myself. And that was just me being a hard critic.
Right.
Most artists are perfectionists, and that was just me doing that. So my friends and everybody was like, just we like it. So from there, I just kept doing it. And by 2021, I had my first art show in LA with 120 paintings of the Hoodlins in various sizes, and we sold more than half the show. And that was like the opening, like saying, like, you know what, you stumbled on a gold mine, and let's just keep rolling with it.
Yeah, that's something I always talk about is you are your worst critic, right? So I mean, like, you will always be your worst critic.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that you brought them back as NFTs, correct, as well? Is that?
You know what? So of course everybody's like, we like it. You should do NFTs. So I just kept hearing the word NFTs, and I wanted to do it justice. I saw NFTs as just like a fast way to make money for folks,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a scam in a way. But I invested some time into actually making some really cool designs that I thought people really enjoy, and that actually meant something to me. So I did a limited run of the characters. A lot of it was 2D animation, 3D animation, and I put some out there, and those NFTs. I think we sold like 7 of them. But the cooler thing from it is we had a company in Japan reach out to us. It was like, hey, our CEO just bought one of your NFTs. He loves it. Let's start a conversation of what we could do together in the future. So it wasn't, I didn't see that coming, but NFTs actually helped us make connections with folks as well.
That's dope.
Wow.
Yeah. I kind of wasn't expecting that at all.
No.
And so I wasn't expecting it either. One of my team members, my guy that was actually running the NFTs for us, he was like, "Hey, I just got a message from this guy from Japan. I'm not sure if it's serious or not." I said, "Let me take a look at it." And yeah, I jumped on the phone call with him. Next thing I know, like a month later, one of his team members flew out here, and we sat down and had lunch and everything, and we just started plotting on what we could do together. So I can't tell you guys like what we're working on, but we're working on some cool stuff.
Yeah. Now, I mean, anything that's under NDA. Don't feel any pressure to have anything.
That's got to be surreal for you, right?
You know what? I've been through so many surreal situations now in my career that nothing really like throws me for a loop anymore. I've achieved all. So when I was a kid, I used to play The Sims. I used to play The Sims a lot, and I made this character based on me, of course. And I'm like, okay, he's going to be an artist. He's going to have a girlfriend. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. He's going to have a house. And growing up, I was like, I want to be this person growing up. So now, years later, I am exactly that Sims character. I'm surprised it's not like a little green box over me right now. But I'm definitely the adult that the kid version of me wanted to be. So just getting to this point, I've gone through all that surreal stuff to where now like everything is just fun for me.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
By the way, I did look you up a second ago.
Okay.
And we do have a mutual friend.
Who do we want to talk about that friend now? Because I know Fayetteville can be a little.
I mean, she's not a problem. So it's my homegirl Whitney, Whitney Bartley.
Whitney?
Half Filipino, half black.
We went to high school together.
Yeah, so I used to be a DJ out there. When I was in the Army, I moonlighted as a DJ at night.
Mm-hmm.
And Whitney was big in the club scene. Actually, her boyfriend is a DJ too. So it's like that's where I met them.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, Whitney I think was 2 years older than me. I even think we went to private school together. I can't remember, but yeah. And Whitney's super short too.
Yep.
Yeah. So I do remember when we went to St. Anne's, like she was up to my hip, and I was probably like in middle school.
and that didn't change. She's still short.
Yeah, but look at that small world, huh?
Yeah.
And I see in the chat somebody said Fayetteville, Arkansas, Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Yeah, wrong Fayetteville.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are specifically talking about Vietnam. So
Vietnam.
Yeah, I mean, you probably know the person I know. I only knew one person from Fayetteville, so
you never know. The world. You talk about surreal. I've been in situations where I met a person across the world, and I come here and they're like, "Do you know this person?" And of course they're joking. I'm like, "I actually do know that person. How do you know that person?" So that it's crazy. The world is small. You never know.
Yeah.
A lot of us are just like 1 degree off from knowing somebody that knows somebody.
Right. Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about tech. The short. I am a big sci-fi tech nerd as well as horror. I know Phil is as well. So tell us a little about tech. I mean, that seems like the sci-fi dramas that you worked on.
Yeah, I mean, wow, you guys did your research.
The number one reaction we get from people is
that's crazy. I got to be careful with the internet going forward. But no, tech was a sci-fi drama that I came up with actually years ago. Probably back 2014. I just started writing down the plot for it, the idea of it, and of course I wasn't like in a situation. I didn't know that much about entertainment. Cameras, actors. I never did like a short film or anything. So I put it on the shelf, and then 2016, 17, I brought it off the shelf, and I had a good connection with people that were DPs, editors that could help me bring this thing to life, to where we did a short film, and the short film it won a lot of awards and stuff like that. But just so people that don't know what tech is a sci-fi drama about people. Young adults gaining superpowers. There's a company that's going through a trial era of doses for folks, and they're mainly in underserved and underserved areas. So a lot of the kids are minorities in gaining these powers. In tech, it stands for transforming, evolving, and calibrating humanity. So that was like the acronym for that. I turned it into tech. And it's still like a cool idea. I still have some stories that need to be told. We're going to film our second short film in 2020, but then the pandemic happened.
Right.
And we already had like our actors set, dates, locations, and then the pandemic happened, and I just shelved it. And now the Hoodlins are really just taking over everything in my life.
I mean, they are a hostile takeover. So
Exactly. So they are a hostile takeover. But the cool thing about it is that, just like Jordan Peele, how people just knew him as a comedian.
Mhm.
I'm working on that same thing now, to where I need people to know about me, and if it's through the Hoodlins, cool. But years later down the road, I might pop out and do some sci-fi dramas or some horrors or something.
Yeah.
Once I become more established in that world.
I mean, I from the what I was able to see of tech, I mean, that also make I think a stellar comic book, if nothing else, too.
Yeah, and you know what? The whole superhero world is all over the place now, and I'm here for it. Like, I love it. I absolutely love it. And when The Boys came out, in Gen V,
Mhm.
that right there. With tech, I want to go a little bit darker, but just seeing like the mature version of it,
Right.
like, whoa, like that's some cool stuff. But yeah, I definitely wanted to do a comic book with them, but I'm one person at the time. I didn't really have the bandwidth for it, but I always tell myself, whenever we get to a good spot, let's make this thing come true. And we did it, and it came out amazing. And now we're just waiting to pull the trigger for the future stuff.
Nice.
and
I mean,
in that time, you had a couple of short films that came out, because it wasn't just tech. You also had
El Gringo,
El Gringo y La Gringa, right?
Gringa. So I was a producer on that, but my boy Alex Balaj, he was the creator, director, everything on that, and we worked in the same animation studio. So it's so funny, the way I met Alex was, I was actually looking for a Spanish speaking person for a character for Ratchet Rachel,
mhm.
because I made a character named Ola Senor.
Yeah.
And this big pink puppet, and I was like, I need a voice for him. So I was on LA Casting looking for folks, and I found Alex. And the reason I was so like attracted to Alex was because I was looking for a Spanish speaker, and Alex he's a white guy, and I'm like, wait, you know how to speak Spanish? I know he got that a lot. So I had a meeting with him, and we talked, and come to find out, fluent in Spanish, grew up in Mexico, but on top of that, a brilliant mind, and also amazing editor. So I was like, you know what? How about I plug you in with the company I work for now? You come in and edit for them. So he became an editor for the studio I used to work for. And at the same time, we just started plotting on things that we could do together. So he came to me with his whole El Gringa and La Gringa series, and I became a producer on that. And then he helped me and became a producer for tech. So I'm very much a person that likes to connect with like-minded folks,
Mhm.
and help people grow within their creative world.
The only thing that keeps popping into my head right now is, oh man, you're a white dude and you speak Spanish? And his response, the easiest response he could have done is, it's LA. Everybody speaks Spanish.
You know what? Yeah. and I would have respected him for that too. But when I say fluent, I mean this boy, like, fluent, amazing.
Like, he's one of those dudes where I would go and have a conversation with him and be like, oh, he must be Hispanic.
Well, yeah, but at first, that was me judging a book by its cover.
Yeah.
And especially like on LA Casting, you will ask for one thing and get the total opposite, because people out here are just hungry for work.
Mhm.
And that's why I was thinking with him. I was like, but let me just see, and come to find out, he 100% fluent, and just an amazing person all the way around.
That's dope.
I mean, with all these media platforms you're dealing with live action, with the puppets, with the Hoodlins, and everything like that, is you ever find it's like too much to juggle with all that different art styles that exists out there?
You know what? I grew up in this. Like, this is what I like. fascinated me all my life.
Mhm.
And I wanted to tap into it. So growing up watching Gumby, like, how are they doing this? Like, what is
Right.
happening? So that's why I do what I do now. And I understand it all. I
Mhm.
understand it all. And if I can't do it, I know somebody that can do it. So of course, like I don't have the manpower to do stop motion, but I can make a phone call and be like, hey, this person, what can we do? Like, I can make the script. I can make it as easy as possible for you. Is it possible to make something? So I like to collaborate with folks that want to do it, that are doing it or trying to do it, to see things come to life. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's not hard to juggle because I'm a huge networker.
Mhm.
I know somebody that can definitely get it done if I can't get it done.
That's great. It's great to have that network available to do that. Now, do you find it easier to having done animation to then kind of set the stage for the Ratchet Rachel and stuff like that?
100%, 100%. Because um, people. I hear it all the time. Like people say, "I have an idea for a cartoon. I have an idea
Hmm.
for a cartoon." And it's like, okay, cool. We all have ideas, but do you understand like how much time and effort and money and all this goes into it? And that within itself sets you apart. So when you go to pitch, people might pitch a show and have things in there that they're realistic, but they might cost a lot,
Right.
or it might just take too much time. So for me, like I know all the parameters to stay within when it comes to pitching and making the content,
Hmm.
where I can go to a studio or a network or whoever and say like, hey, here it is. It's going to be easy for you because I can have this person do it. We can ship it here. This is how much it's going to cost. So yeah, I mean, just understanding that world alone really does set you apart. And I mean, there's people within the world that don't even understand it sometimes, but um, I'm built different. That's what the kids say. I'm built different.
Yeah, that's great. For people that watch the show that know me and Phil knows, I'm getting into the indie horror film creation right now,
Mhm,
and I have ideas, and I'm just going, how can I feasibly do this with like $0?
mhm.
You know.
Yeah, and when I was doing my puppet show
Hmm.
in high school, that's when I started realizing a lot of the things like, okay, if I want to do this, I'm gonna have to angle the camera like this. I'm gonna have to do this. Oh, I don't have this item. I'm gonna have to buy it. Like, and that's when a lot of the formula like started to come together.
Hmm.
And then as I became an adult, I'm like, you know what? I already did that when I was younger. Like, I'm a step ahead from all that.
Yeah. Like you gave yourself that experience, and that way when it came time to doing it in the quote unquote real world, like you already had that experience.
Exactly. And even in the real world, a lot of people don't go through that experience. A lot of them go to college and they're taught it in school or from a teacher. But getting real life experience on your own without having that guidance there, you learn way more that way than I believe it with from a teacher.
And again, I can relate to that because you mentioned the whole journalism thing, and like we get a lot of accolades for the, again, quote unquote journalism we do, but I mean like like we just had an interview printed in a magazine, and it all came from somebody liked the way that we approach our interviews, and they liked the research that we did, and they're like, do you want to write an article for us? And it was like it was a big deal. Graveyard's done the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep, it needs to be done, and you guys are doing it for sure.
So you're saying all my days of backyard wrestling, videoing, and editing for early days of YouTube is finally coming in handy with the horror movies I'm doing? Fantastic.
Well, I mean, backyard wrestling. That sounds like you have some stunt people there.
Woo!
So, boom, right?
It is my own body that I was doing this stuff with. But I was much younger then.
And that's free. That's free right there too. So easy peasy.
Oh yeah. I think yeah, especially with you and just kind of taking that step early on and be able to do it, it's just paying off in the long run here.
Hmm. But really, the real thing is just having the cojones to do it. A lot of people are scared, timid. I don't have money. I don't have this. Okay, cool. You're making excuses. Get past the excuses and just do it. I still fail. Like there's a lot of times where I might come up with something. I'm like, I don't do it or I can't do it. But I don't fail nearly as much as what I did as I was younger. My success rate right now is up, but I'm glad that I started failing at a younger age to where now I'm pretty much top tier.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
I know Phil, being his DJ and sound tech, he's really interested in your mixtapes that you have.
Absolutely, man. I actually get through and listen to both of them.
Well, my boy PME Jonathan, he just produced the last mixtape for us, the Hoodlin mixtape Volume 2, and it was incredible being able to work from somebody much younger than me too, from my hometown, and just give them experience and exposure.
Mhm.
And we had a blast. So I met him last year doing my art show, and I told him like, hey, I have this character. Do you want to be a part of it? He's like, well, yeah, let's do it. And I knew he did music, so I was like, you know what? Let's make a Hoodlin mixtape Volume 2 with you, because I had used somebody else before that, but I really wanted to build a connection with somebody else. And Jonathan really he came through, and you can tell within Volume 2 that he put in a lot of time, and now he's my music guy going forward with everything, and just giving more exposure to somebody from back home. Also, it makes me feel good. But the mixtapes number 1 and 2, they're just perfect background noise, and just another way for us to tell the story of the Hoodlins.
And that explains a lot of between the first one and the second one, because the first one was very, very J-pop, very very kind of like chill electronica.
Yeah.
Whereas the second one was real soulful, real hip hop, and I was just like, ooh, okay. Like the second one for sure is like something that I can like pop into my like turn on in my truck and like listen to that. You know what I mean? And just like if I want to cruise and listen to something that's just like, because I'm an old school hip hop guy. When it comes to like my hip hop, I'm an old school hip hop head. I like my soulful music. That's why I actually like J. Cole's, because the beats that he does that he makes are very soulful.
Yeah.
I was always a No ID kind of guy. My mentor when I was a producer was Just Blaze. So I mean, like, so it was like kind of like that was something that I always gravitated towards.
Yeah.
And I felt that when I heard that second mixtape.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that you listened to it. I know he would be glad that you listened to it too. And yeah, man. I mean, just with the Hoodlins, we're just doing so much, and being able to give exposure to somebody that's trying to do something, it means the world to me. Because again, like their merchandise, their music, like coming up with ways that we can integrate other people's talents into this project it means a lot. So
that's great. I mean, what was that experience like getting into doing the music soundtracks that you've done?
Again, it was just like in me just having a random thought one day. I'm like, you know what? Why can't we do music with these guys? Why can't we just tell a story through music? What does that look like? It seems like no one else is really doing it. Let's just go ahead and start doing it now. So my idea was to have like different styles of music based on the Hoodlins, and find different artists that would like to produce something. So we do have the J-pop, we do have the soul, kind of hip hop vibes. Maybe going down the road we might do a metal, or we might do country. And you know what? In the future, fusing this all together on a big project that I'll talk about in a bit. but it all has meaning, and we're just making strategic steps now to see what's hitting, what's not hitting, so we can make that big move in the future.
Yeah, and it's all character interpretation, like, so it's like I appreciate that, because it's like it's not only are you getting like these characters on paper and the art of the characters themselves, but now you can interpret their personality through the music. And I think that speaks volumes for the way that you're developing these characters.
Yeah. Yep, you guys, I have a crazy mind, so I'm always thinking of ways to do some crazy stuff, and we're doing it. Definitely doing it.
I mean, we had Muppet Babies. How long before we get the Hoodlin Babies?
Hey, you just wait, man. Just sit back and relax. It's coming.
He's like, his response is, "When do we get the Hoodlin Babies?" He goes, "No, the Hoodlin Babies exist.
You just don't know about it yet, Graveyard."
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because when I came out with Ratchet Rachel, it got picked up by a studio, and one of my mentors, he told me, like, hey, be careful with everything that you're making, because you might make something that's going to blow up. And I was like, I'm never going to make anything bigger than Ratchet Rachel, never. And then weeks later, I'm coming up with this sock puppet character. I'm like, this is trash, but I'm going to use it anyway. And then years later, finding out that character is just as big as Ratchet Rachel, because with Ratchet Rachel, we have stuff for her, but she's not even. We put her on the back burner until the Hoodlins take off. But it's so funny that in my mind, I told myself back then, like, you won't become more successful than where you are right now. And then fast forward 5 years later, ending up here, which is mind blowing.
I mean, I personally would love to see a Hoodlin murder mystery movie.
I mean, we're thinking about doing stuff like that, like comedy type movies. I have a producer friend that does those movies with like he's working. He did the Grinch parody movie. He's
the mean one, yeah,
the mean one. He also he did a Mickey one.
The Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, one of the new Steamboat Willies. So I mean, he even worked on Ratchet Rachel with me back in the day. So that's right up our alley, to where we can definitely use these characters for not even it's not a parody, because it's our IP.
Right.
Do a comedy murder mystery of which Hoodlin did it. Type thing.
Right. I just envision like your version of Clue.
You know what? Me and my friend, we were like, why don't we come up with a Clue game? And it's like, we could do it, but I think it's going to be kind of hard to do with the Hoodlins, because they're just so, is your Hoodlin yellow? Yeah, okay. Perfect. It's this one right here. So coming up with a way for Clue, we're thinking of everything over here right now.
Well, aren't you guys? Because I think that's what when I met you in LA, that's what you were talking about, was you guys were developing a Hoodlins game.
So we're actually working on a card game right now.
Yeah,
I have an amazing team helping out with it. I came up with the idea back in 2021 after the art show, and I came up with like a style of playing, but of course that's not my background. So I kind of struggled for a year finding the right person to help produce it, and now I have my boy Nick. He's top dog within in the card game world, to where we're coming up with a collectible card game for the Hoodlins. And I even have some mock-ups right now. There's no NDAs that need to be signed for this, but some mock-ups.
Yeah, internet, you have to sign an NDA. Just
But style of what they're looking for right now.
Yeah.
Looking to really launch this year. And we have some really cool collaborations that will go down with it as well. So we're almost there. We're gonna do a big campaign for it. and hopefully by winter of this year, you'll see the Hoodlin card game come out.
Oh, sweet. I love the game Munchkin. I think your characters would fit right into the Hoodlin Munchkin world.
So again, like this style of playing, you guys probably you haven't seen anything like this before. It's going to be like a mix of Uno mixed with like Exploding Kittens and other references.
I love Exploding Kittens.
Yeah, but more importantly, you're going to want to collect the cards. So with a sense of kind of Pokemon as well, because we're going to come up with some cool designs. I'm going to design some. My other artists are going to design some and have like different variations of it too. It's going to be endless. It's going to be amazing.
Phil, when that game comes out, we have to figure out a way to play this for play it on distance learning.
Yeah, we got to do like a distance learning gaming day.
Yeah,
that's not video game related.
right.
Well, I'll make sure to definitely send you guys a starter pack.
Oh man, we will play it on the show. We will play it live.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Good stuff.
Now, I Phil's researched this, but you did some Lego TV shows as an animator, correct?
Yeah. I've actually snuck myself into some Cartoon Network Lego shows. I worked on a lot of Lego IP. So, Lego Movie, Lego Batman, Lego Guardian of the Galaxy, Lego Black Panther, Lego Avengers.
Like as an animator, right?
Yeah. So I was a motion graphic artist on a lot of that content. Lego Star Wars, Lego Jurassic Park, like that list just goes on and on. And again, like growing up, Legos, I freaking loved Legos growing up.
I mean, obviously I do too. I'm building Lego right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I'm jealous. I actually have some Legos. I have a lot of Legos in the office right now too. And my girl actually got me an advent calendar for Christmas. That was Lego Star Wars themed. So that was fun. But no, Legos growing up was definitely a big thing for me. And I had at when Legos was coming out, I was always like, I wish there was like a Batman Lego. I really wish there was like a Star Wars Lego. And then it was like the universe was listening to me. And next thing you know, there's a whole wave of different IPs coming out. And I'm like, oh, whoa, this is amazing. But as I got older, being able to work on the content that I was dreaming of, another surreal moment. So yeah, I worked on a lot of different stuff. We've had some premieres at Lego World. Like when some of the content came out, we would go down to Lego World as a team, and that was cool. Like having the red carpet rolled out for the series or for the show that we were working on for Lego was pretty dope. So yeah, I have a lot of resume stuff with Lego, a part of it.
Now, did you go to school for animation?
I actually went to school for fine arts and graphic design. So everything animation wise, I taught myself. And thanks to YouTube for teaching me everything. But yeah, the tools that I was using was Adobe. So Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, and After Effects. Those were like my key ones. InDesign, of course, too. But After Effects was what I learned, in that no one else around me really understood Illustrator. So Illustrator I was able to do vector stuff like that. And then I was able to take my vectors and turn it into animations within After Effects. So learning that combo, I set myself apart from a lot of people, on top of having just a creative mind. So yeah, that's what I used. And it's so funny when I started my world in animation here in LA, I really thought I was trash. But everybody around me was like, hey, this is good. Let's move on to the next level. So it was another surreal moment at that time. Was like I did the HUD, the Tony Stark HUD for Lego's Avenger.
Wow.
And seeing it on Disney Plus and Hulu and stuff like that, it's like that's me. That's crazy. And then watching the credits come up and seeing Stan Lee, and then a couple frames later Brandon Johnson, is like, I did it. That's cool.
That's gotta feel amazing.
Yeah, and you know what? We actually had Stan Lee being able to work with him while he was still alive was amazing.
So you actually did get to like firsthand work with
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, he so I didn't like go get the voiceover with him,
Yeah,
but
man.
you know, my team, they would go out and with the recorder to his house, and you know, of course he was getting older and he had nap times throughout the day. So the team went, and it was one of his nap time days, and they had to wake him up. He was like, "You're interrupting me during my naps." But definitely heard he was a cool guy. And I was just stoked to be able to work on multiple projects with him attached on, and he even had cameos, voice cameos in them, which made it even better for my experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Mm.
I mean, I'll have to get some from you later, some YouTube videos. I dabble in the Illustrator and Adobe suite as well, as I'm trying to do more with the movie stuff I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, Illustrator is one thing, but After Effects, that's like you can like for me, like I just like to do motion graphics. But there's 3D elements in it. There's you know, you can color, you can edit, like there's so many different elements. It's such a powerful tool. Like even you can have it I think either Blender or whatever 3D Mocha or whatever attached to it. There's so much. And I personally probably only know like 30% of what it can do, like really like hardcore. But like I can go on YouTube and look up stuff. So if anybody out there struggling looking for how to do stuff in animation, YouTube is the best, cheapest way to learn.
And you worked in motion comics too, right?
Motion comics, yeah. I mean, a lot of the funny thing about motion comics is basically storyboarding.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of storyboard, like animatics. That's basically what it is. It's a lot of animatic stuff. So I did storyboarding, type animatic stuff for comics. Did a lot of stuff, you guys. Like, good grief. And it's so funny that you showed my my demo real early. I'm like, I really did forget all that stuff that I was doing back then. So yeah.
That's great. It's you're just immersive in the world of art.
I love it. I love it. And now truly like through this nonprofit. So I run a 27-year-old art nonprofit called Create Now.
Create Now, right? We're going to get to that. So let's just jump right into that. Let's talk about it now.
Yeah. So I mean, Create Now has been around for 27 years and located in the heart of LA. It was founded by a screenwriter. Her name was Jill Gurr. And she just had this idea of just, you know, giving back to a community that needs it most, you know, and youth on top of that. So when I moved to LA, I actually experienced being unhoused for a while, about a week and a half. And, you know, it was rough, you know, coming from North Carolina, coming from, you know, my family's like, why are you doing this? You know, you shouldn't be doing it, blah, blah, blah. You don't have anything out there. And then coming out here and not having anything, I had to fight a lot. And I wanted to prove people back home wrong. And I told myself, like, whenever I get to a good spot, you're going to get back. Like, you're going to find a location to do whatever, you know, you want to do with the community. And I found Create Now. And it was so funny because I actually reached out to a lot of other nonprofits and I got denied. You know, you don't have the experience, you know, we're at capacity, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you guys, I'm trying to give you free. Right. But Jill personally called me. It was like, hey, let's set up a meeting. Let's sit down and talk. And this was back in 2014. So we sat down and talked. And from there on, like I've just been a part of Create Now, you know, becoming a volunteer, then teaching artists, then a board member, board chair, and then CEO. So I've seen this nonprofit grow for the past almost 10 years now. And it's so amazing just to be able to run it. And sadly, Jill passed away in 2022. So being able to know her, carry on her legacy, but also take Create Now into a new era is something that's pretty dope and amazing.
So, just for anyone who doesn't know, what do you really, what do you do there for the youth?
Yeah, so what we do through Create Now is we provide free art programming for youth under the age of 24 through a ton of different disciplines. So, culinary arts, fine arts, singing, dancing, acting, filmmaking. Um, we provide this for youth all over Los Angeles that, kids that are going through situations that they shouldn't be going through.
Mm.
Um, and try to tell them and show them like, hey, the arts are real. We know that not every kid will become an artist in the future, but at least provide them with services and resources for them to pursue it themselves, or even allow them to have an outlet from whatever they're going through, because the arts can be very, very therapeutic,
Right.
to where you can just tap into your own world, and that's when a lot of trauma and stuff comes out.
Yeah.
Because I can relate to that a lot growing up, where art, I really saw art as a medicine for me.
Mm.
And I still do at times, and that's what we want to give to our kids out here. On top of, we provide events quarterly throughout a year. We have our creative career fair coming up in a couple months, to where we have people from Disney, people from DreamWorks, and other creative realms come out and talk about how they got into the industry, whatever, and allow kids to be one-on-one with them. We had one kid last year get a job from this career fair.
Oh, wow.
So that was an idea that I came in with, and seeing it grow to be something big like that is amazing. And then we also take kids on trips. So most recently, we took kids to Nickelodeon Studios, and they were able to see a lot of the old school stuff that we grew up on. Talk to a lot of people working on new projects.
Mhm.
They actually worked with the team from Big Nate, which is a popular cartoon now, and the kids all made stop motion puppets. So it's little stuff like that with Create Now that it's an honor to be able to do this, and also this is my world. So I'm thinking of all the creative ways that we can continue to do what we do, but just not here in LA, but expanded across the country. And for the next couple years, that's going to be like my number one thing, is how do we take something that's so amazing here and have kids across the country be able to experience it.
Yeah, that's great to hear, because you always hear about when schools cut costs, it's the arts that go first.
Yeah.
100%. Yes, and it's so sad, because a lot of the kids that we serve, they're like, we don't have this in school. We want this, but it's just for people that have money, apparently, and that's not the case. Everybody has access to the arts, and it's so easy to be a part of. So I'm glad that we're able to teach these kids the right ways.
This kind of reminds me. So a while back, we had a conversation with a artist named Mike Sears, and he specifically was unhoused, and art saved his life.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually in. There was a documentary on Vice that he was in about unhoused people in New Orleans,
Mm-hmm.
and he was featured on that in that movie as like one of the people that they followed. And years later, he continued being an artist, and he's now, moderately successful. It's enough where he can make a living off of it. But he went from somebody who didn't know what he was going to be able to do to being an artist full time, because that was his passion.
Yeah, it's amazing to hear stories like that, because becoming unhoused is so easy.
Yeah.
People realize it. A lot of people are one check away from not having anything.
Mm-hmm.
And when it happened to me, and my friends. When it happened to us, it was kind of embarrassing. And it was like, I don't want to talk about it. But as I started to grow, it's like, you know what? That's a strong thing that he overcame. I could have said, no, I can't do this, and just went back home to my comfort. But, decided to persevere through it, see it through, and ended up where I am today. And it definitely became, it helped me become a stronger person. But people need to understand, people need to be compassionate and understand, hey, this person you know, might not have made a mistake in life. Like something may have happened to where they ended up in the situation. So and that's where my drive for helping youth out here. Because no kid put themselves in this situation. It's always an adult that made this happen. So I do want to be that community hero for a lot of kids out here, and be a positive role model and say like, hey, you're a kid. I'm here to help you. Let me know what you need.
Hence why at the top of the show I called you the community hero.
And I didn't pay you to say that either. You know who know. I got that name from the Clippers because the Clippers actually honored me at a game as a community hero.
That's dope.
Yeah, you know, being on a court and being on the big main screen is it was crazy. And then from there on, I was like, you know what? If the Clippers call me a community hero, I guess I can call myself a community hero. And to tell you the truth, I'm a Lakers fan, but I have to give kudos to the Clippers for doing that, and they actually do a lot in the community, which I love to see. And they do a lot. They do a lot for our organization. So. Yeah.
Like I said, I think it's great just because, you know, I was forced into, you know, math and sciences as a kid, and now, you know, I do IT for a living. But what I do outside of it, I do podcasts. I'm making movies. I'm writing scripts. You know, I was brewing beer just as a creative outlet that wasn't just staring at a screen all day and just doing numbers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And people are hungry for it. Mm-hmm. People want to be creative. They just don't know how to be it sometimes. And I was talking to an artist today, and he was like, he's a paint and sip, instructor, where he'll have hundreds of people in a weekend doing paints and sips. And these people are, they're doctors, they're lawyers, they're common folks just wanting to come out and drink some wine and paint. And that just goes to show like how important the arts are and how people want to be involved with the arts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it's just unfortunately we were just pushed that way at where I was at. It's just just go get a job, a desk job, and just put your nose to the grindstone. Don't make waves, don't stand out or anything like that.
Well, I tell you this, Graveyard, I made some waves. I made a lot of waves in my career. To where now I get to continue to make waves in a bigger area.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's.
I was gonna say that's like Ken Jeong, right? Like Ken Jeong went and became a doctor because that's what his family wanted to. They're like, oh well, you can't do comedy because you're not gonna make money in comedy. But he went and became a doctor so his parents couldn't say anything.
Yeah. I kind of relate to the movie Robots. I'm not sure if you guys remember the animated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Robin Williams was in it. That story. When the movie first came out, I was like, "This is trash. This is horrible." But as I got older, I was like, "Whoa! Like that's basically me. Like it's crazy. Like the parents they were so concerned about their son's future that they were telling him like, hey, just work this easy job and don't put your head down and just keep going. But then, the main character was like, no, I'm gonna pursue what I want to do. I think he wanted to be like not a mechanic. That would have been weird. He was an inventor, wasn't he?
He was an inventor.
Yeah.
And he wanted to work for I forgot the name of the company.
But and that's what it was too. I wanted to work for Disney. Mm-hmm. So that's why I moved out here. So that's the other part of the story. He moved from where he was living to another area to pursue like his dream job. And my dream job growing up was working for Disney, 100%. And that's why I have to go back and watch that movie. But that's why I related to that character. I got older.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic that you're giving back and continuing that you're sharing your knowledge with the art with everyone that you can, and I think that's such a refreshing thing because doing what I do, it's always like you hold on to your knowledge, you don't share it with anyone. I don't agree with that because I think knowledge is meant to be shared.
Exactly. It says a lot about you and your character. It says a lot about who you are. that you give back and that you share that experience. It's like, hey, this is something that I went through, and if you just follow your dreams, and things will work out.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I don't know why or how I became this person, but it's just me. I've always been like a person that gives back, even when I was a kid.
Mhm.
But it needs to be done. We're not going to be here forever, and to carry on our legacy, it would be cool if somebody behind us said like, "Oh, I learned this from this guy," and
Right.
continue to do that down the road. So I'm just doing what feels right in my heart. And again, like I get to live this life every day of just 100% in the arts. And of course, like not every day is going to be fun. Like dealing with taxes and finances and other stuff. Like now being like a boss, like having to worry about paychecks and stuff like that. That's the rough stuff. But I'm meant to be here, and I just want to inspire other people to to do the same. Like, of course, not you don't have to be on the same level as me. I know I do a lot. I do too much sometimes, but at least give an effort, and figure out a way that you can support other people around you.
Yeah, one hoodlin at a time.
One hoodlin at a time. That's another thing. Like I'm living two lives. So I have the nonprofit. I have my creations in my head. Sometimes I'm like, do I have like a twin brother like doing all this other stuff? How am I doing it? But and people ask me that all the time. Like, what's your time management look like? You're working on a card game. You're doing this. You also do that. Like what? But somehow I don't play a lot of video games. I think that's another thing. Like I the things that take up my time are things that are actually helping me build at the same time.
You hear that, Phil? You got to stop playing video games.
Never,
So
never.
I'm not gonna lie. I do play Fortnite when I can. Let's see. Another game that's taking up a lot of my time. Marvel Snap.
Mm.
So it's a phone app card. I love it.
Yeah,
Thanos, the Thanos variant remark that you got going on.
Oh, for me, I think I'm a variant of Thanos. I don't know. Like growing up, I'm still like a huge Doctor Doom fan,
Yes.
but the Thanos. What really sealed the deal for me was the Avenger movie. Like having him like just come in and demolish everything in one movie.
Yeah.
I was like, what? This dude is off the chain. And I knew who he was before the movie, but the movie really sealed the deal for me. I mean, I have Thanos everything. Like,
Wait till Doom shows up in the MCU. The whole game's gonna change.
oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, Doom for sure, but Thanos right now is my dude. And of course he's evil. I see myself being like the not evil person, the what if variant of Thanos. But I liked his hustle, his drive. At the end, he got what he wanted. He got defeated like a handful of times, and it definitely is the mentality that I have for myself. Like the Hoodlins, it's a hostile takeover. Yeah, we're going to take over everything. We're going to do it as nicely as we can, but you're going to know our name. It's going to happen.
Thanos is one of those characters that he was like purely evil in the comics, but when they put him in the movies, they were really good about let's give this character nuance, and he's not just going to be the evil bad guy character, because that just makes characters boring. It's what's their motivation? He's a bad guy, so he's motivated to be bad because he's a bad guy. Versus, let's make it to where he has good intentions, but he's going about it the wrong way. It's the same thing that Killmonger had going on. He had good intentions, but he went about it in a way that was more ruthless than it was helpful.
Yeah, no, for sure. The comic book version of Thanos was very dark. The fact that he was facing Lady Death. So I'm like, I'm glad they didn't go that route with the movie.
Yeah, you know, and then you have the weird three-way between him and Deadpool.
Mhm.
See, I wish they went that with Lady Death just for the Deadpool part. I mean,
Well, I can see that happening in the next movie, where they make a reference to that for sure.
oh yeah,
He made a reference to him in the second movie, like "Calm your jets, Thanos."
Yeah, no, but I mean like a real like reference to it, where we see Lady Death in Deadpool and Thanos going at it. If that happens, I'll give Ryan Reynolds all my respect.
Ryan Reynolds already has all my respect.
You know what? It's at the first Deadpool. I was like, Ryan Reynolds is just playing Ryan Reynolds. You know, he's not playing Deadpool. I didn't really feel, the whole Deadpool thing at the very beginning. It wasn't until like the second movie I was like, okay, cool, I can see it happening. He's just made a name for himself as Deadpool to me.
oh, yeah.
I felt he was Deadpool when he played Hannibal King,
Yeah.
because I felt Hannibal King was more Deadpool than Hannibal King.
What really rubbed me the wrong way was him playing Deadpool in the Wolverine movie.
Oh, and that movie is what led to him making the Deadpool movies. Because Fox told him that if you do this, if you do this movie the way that we want it, we'll let you fix it and make a Deadpool movie. And then they shelved him, and they said that no, we just said that to make you make the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then he took it into his own hands and was like, okay, well, I'm gonna put out this and I'm gonna do this and put out a bunch of shit, and made the buzz himself. And now, basically the internet is what made Fox change their mind about that movie.
Yeah. The power of the internet, the power of the fans. You know what? It's needed. It's needed sometimes, because a lot of movies would have bombed if they didn't listen to the fans. Number one is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes.
Yep.
Like, I woke up this morning and I saw the new trailer for Knuckles.
Yeah.
And for them to have Knuck, If You Buck, as the background music behind it, I was like, no way. But then I was thinking about years later of like, they really almost had like a weaseled face Sonic the Hedgehog come out.
Ugly Sonic. He was in the Chippendale movie.
Yes. Chippendale has so many references, which is amazing.
It was so good.
But yeah, I'm glad they listened to the fans, at least for that one alone, because that could have ended up horrible. And I hope Avatar: Last Airbender is not a bomb when it comes out in a couple weeks. And I really hope they listen to the fans.
I'm a little afraid, because I know that the showrunners walked away from it, and that makes me afraid of it a little bit.
Well, not even that, but hearing the rumors that, not even rumors, but hearing that they took out a lot of like the comedy from Sokka, and changing the whole like style of Aang, not having to be funny, having to be more serious. Is like, why are you messing up a formula that is already
it works.
It works. And not even that, but the movie that came out, you saw how they changed everything in the movie. Why are you trying to do the same? But we'll see. It looks okay right now, but let's see if it actually plays out.
See, they can just do the Dakota Johnson thing before Madam Web comes out. Like, I don't know if it's gonna be good or not.
Yeah. Well, Madam Web, I'm going to go into it with very low expectations. Because that's a Fox. That's not a Fox movie. Who's
Sony?
No, it's Fox. Oh, Sony.
Sony.
I have no expectations for anything Sony makes unless it's animated.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the Craven movie coming out.
Nope. It's not Craven.
No,
it's not Craven.
No,
that's the Lion Man movie.
The Lion Man. Yeah,
the American Lion Man instead of the Russian.
Yeah, it's the American Lion Man.
Yeah,
because he's like Spider-Man, but he got bit by a lion.
A lion. Yes. That's fair. Okay, I'll give you that.
It's not how he got his powers in the comics. So no.
Hey. It's like, well, you guys already have the material there. Just go to the book.
Yeah,
it's a crazy idea. And so it's like, comic books. What are those?
Yeah, Fox is really good about not caring what was there before.
Yeah,
Well, I guess both Fox and Sony. Sony's really good about, we don't care, about the source material. We're just gonna do what we want
Mm-hmm.
because that's how we think we're gonna make money. And it's
Yeah.
like, no, listen to the fans. The fans are what's gonna make you money.
Yeah. Yeah, and not even that, but having people that actually care about the project on board. Because I mean, I've worked on projects where literally, like Marvel stuff, I'm the only person in the room that knows all the characters, knows their backstory, and they're giving it to people that are just there because they're art directors or something. So that is a real thing, and it's sad to see. And this is another thing, like with the Hoodlins for myself, I get to breathe life into something that is being ran by real artists that understand like what people are looking for. And I think that's why a lot of people can relate and like the Hoodlins now, is because I'm actually doing stuff that people want to see happen.
Right. Yeah, I think that's great because then you get, as much as I love the '89 Batman, Tim Burton never read a Batman comic. Our good old boy who did X-Men X2, Bryan Singer refused to allow Marvel Comics on his set.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that was more so because he was like, I'm ruining their IP, so I don't want them to see how bad I'm ruining their IP.
Yeah.
But I mean, Tim Burton Batman, phenomenal for back then, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, even the X-Men movies, I'll give you this. Sometimes I feel like I'm too hard on movies, because like Star Wars, episode 1, 2, and 3, people like, oh, we hate it. But growing up for me, I was like, I love this. This is amazing to me. And I know people like shit on Jar Jar Binks all the time. Jar Jar Binks was my favorite character growing up. Him and Mace Windu. I remember drawing pictures of Mace Windu and Jar Jar Binks like battling and stuff like that. And even now, like that's like nostalgic to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched it last week, all 3 episodes, and I'm like, this is good stuff. So sometimes I do try to go into it like, okay, let me not critique it too much as an adult. Let me just step back a little bit. But some of the stuff that's coming out right now is just hot garbage.
Oh yeah. I remember seeing episode 1, which when it came out in '99, I had to hide my nerdom from high school, and and like my buddy's like, so he's like, don't spoil anything for me. I know it's a prequel. I'm like, well, Obi-Wan dies. Right. He's like, what? He was so mad. He's like, you ruined it. And he's like, he didn't die. I'm like, no, he's not gonna die.
Like he literally doesn't die until the next movie.
Yeah, next couple movies, yeah, for sure. But I mean, that just goes to show, like, they ended up making all this animated content with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Clone Wars, amazing stuff like that.
Clone Wars is amazing. Clone Wars is what made people go and reevaluate how much they hated that franchise. Because when they went back and watched Clone Wars, a lot of people, when they went back and watched Clone Wars, it gave a lot of context to what was happening in the movies.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, this is so much better with Clone Wars.
Yeah. It fills in all the gaps.
Right. I feel like Filoni's going to do the same thing for the sequels. 10 years from now, when more content has come out, more people less people are going to be hateful of the sequel trilogy, because Filoni's going to add so much context to it that everything is going to make sense.
Yeah, I mean,
except somehow the Emperor returned.
He's not dead. Come on, what do you mean? That kills me. No,
that's something that happened in the books, and it's like, okay, I know how you can get from point A to point B from that. Filoni just has to follow it.
The correct path would have been Mara Jade.
Well, yeah, no. If you add Mara Jade into the whole storyline, then it adds a lot of context to it. This is the kind of nerd we are. You see, we're stuff like in the books and all that. All right, we will talk about this stuff all day, but we got to get to the wrap questions, just because we do have to get to the bracket at some point here. And I'm just like thinking to myself, like, oh man, if I don't get questions now, we won't get to them. All right, so you're in LA.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask one of the hardest questions that there is to ask in general, but 10 times harder because you're in LA.
Okay.
What is your favorite kind of taco?
Favorite? Ooh. Lingua. Lingua, which is tongue. I love a good tongue taco. It's amazing. And after lingua is cabeza. A good,
My man's one of us.
you know, gotta do it, man. I remember my first time having it out here, and my friend was like, "You know what you're eating right now?" I'm like, "No, I'm eating some good tacos." He's like, "You're eating head." I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Yes, I mean,
And as I'm like questioning it, I'm still eating it. I'm like, "This okay, cool. I guess I'm eating head, and I'm eating tongue." But those definitely my favorite tacos.
okay. Since you're bold, right?
Mhm.
You're willing to eat stuff. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. Don't look it up.
Okay,
But look for sesos.
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 You might have to spell that there.
Sesos. Sesos. Right. You look for a taco place that serves sesos. Try the sesos and then
Oh man, I looked it up.
He said FCSOS.
sesos. Yeah.
FE.
That's
No, brain. Oh,
that's a real Mexican taco right there.
really? Okay. I mean,
No, if you go to a lot of times it'll be at food trucks because a lot of times like restaurants are scared to keep it on their menu because like only Latinos will eat it.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of times you go to food trucks and they'll have it because they only order that they'll only get like small batches of it for like people who know. Right.
Yeah.
So if you can find a place that has sesos, try it.
Okay. Done.
The whole thing with our culture is we do not waste the cow.
Cow.
Right? We do not waste any of it. Right? It's the same thing. Like you you grew up in the South, man, so you know all about giblets. You know all about chitlins and
Well, I'll tell you one thing: black folks ain't eating no brain.
no, but I'm just saying, like it's like in the South,
Yeah.
right? And it's not just black folks. I'm saying, like I see white people in the South eat this shit too. But I mean, like in the South, that's stuff that people eat, right?
Yeah.
Latinos in our culture, right? Like we eat all the cow,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the same thing. Like I try to explain it to my wife. I try to say it to everybody. Like the best food, the food you think is the best in the world, is poverty food. Like, that's basically what it is.
That's true.
So it's like for us, we cut up the entire cow and eat the entire cow because you can't let it go to waste because that's food.
Yeah. Well, I will have Sesos on the top of my list going forward.
Yeah, man. And then if you can find real birria.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I found some good birria.
Well, so the thing about birria, right? So like, you don't see it very often because now birria is mainstream and they do it with beef, right?
Mm-hmm.
Birria traditionally is with
pork.
No, is with goat.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
So if you can find like traditional birria,
gotcha.
No,
well, I don't eat pork, so that's why I was like, okay, cool. But no, if it's with goat, yeah, for sure, I'll definitely.
Yeah, it's good.
Where I live is El Sereno, California, which is part of LA, and it's Latin based. So I'll be able to find it.
Yeah, we tried King Taco for the first time when we went to LA Comic Con.
Oh yeah, King Taco's like right down the street.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. But yeah, man, that's the deal right there. I mean, you just say you don't eat pork, so I mean, like normally I tell everybody the litmus test for any Latino anytime we go to any restaurant, al pastor.
El pastor, yeah.
If the al pastor is good, that means everything in the restaurant is going to be good because that means they know how to season their food.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, al pastor just is pork, so I mean it's barbecue pork. So
yeah. So, I mean, I being from North Carolina, you know it. I mean, it's pork nation out there. Everything's barbecue, fried, deep fried, or grilled.
So I miss Django so much.
I mean, I grew up eating pork sandwiches all the time.
Yeah.
So now that I'm older, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do it.
Yeah. I miss Bojangles so much.
Bojangles, Cookout.
Cookout for sure. Cookout. Here's the thing for everybody that's never been to North Carolina, right? Cookout is not the best food, but you can get anything at any hour of the night.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh my God. The one of the best things they make, and everybody gets it with everything they get there. The hush puppies.
Hush puppies. Yeah.
Hush puppies are the bomb there.
The funny thing about it, I totally forgot about this until I went back home. I ordered hush puppies, and they put everything in a styrofoam box. Right. Yep. The hush puppies are so hot sometimes that it will burn through the box. And it will leave like most of their food, like the French fries and stuff. It's so hot that it will just make like a burn mark within the box, and that's how you know it's fresh and good right. There. My number one item from there was they had a watermelon milkshake during the summertime.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And their milkshake list just goes on and on and on and on and on. But you can get it any time of night, day, whatever.
Their whole menu is available at any point in the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's like one of the reasons you find your way to go to Cookout.
Yeah. So definitely, and it's affordable too. So in college, that was all we had was Cookout after parties and stuff. And it would look. I'm not sure if you guys know In-N-Out out here.
Oh yeah, no, we don't. Oh, what? So
I don't.
He's out of Chicago. I'm based in Sacramento.
Okay. Well, In-N-Out. The line for In-N-Out is ridiculous. No matter where you go, In-N-Out is always packed, and the line will be in the streets, and it's ridiculous because I'm going to say it. In-N-Out isn't that good.
Depends on how you order it. Depends on how you order it.
No. In-N-Out is a basic ass burger, no flavor. I don't care if it's animal style, whatever. I don't care. You guys, it's horrible.
You got to get a mustard fry. If it's not mustard fried, it's not worth it.
It's not what?
If it's not mustard fried, it's not worth it.
Nah. I'll try it, but the fact that it has to be a certain way and it's not on the menu, that means they're trash.
Ooh.
And anybody, if you want to fight me over it, you can fight me. In-N-Out trash.
Okay. I know you're taller than me and you got more reach, but put on the gloves. I'm a former boxer.
All right, let's do it, man. We can box it out. We can box it out over some fast food for sure. Let's do it.
Oh no, and we'll take it a step further. Proceeds go to charity.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, for sure. And Graveyard, you can take care of all the marketing and stuff for us. Too, all right.
We do a charity fight where everybody gets to watch young Phil get the shit kicked out of him by Brandon Johnson.
I'm going to fly out for that. I mean,
because yes, the marketing is like, yes, young Phil is a former boxer. Yeah, but you got way more reach on me though.
Oh man, but no, it's it's crazy the culture out here. How people just love it. I mean, In-N-Out is also just like it has good marketing too, where people from outside of the country and stuff want to just eat it too. So,
I mean, I get that from Chicago. Everyone's like, "Oh, gotta get the deep dish pizza." I'm like,
"Yeah,
you don't.
No,
you don't have to."
And I don't know what else LA is known for other than its tacos and In-N-Out. Like I don't think there's like another like iconic dish or restaurant or something out here.
Big Boy.
Who? Big Boy?
Big Boss Burgers.
Either that or Roscoe's Chicken.
Roscoe's is branching out too, though.
Yeah.
There's a Roscoe's here in Sacramento now.
Well, I mean, In-N-Out is just like it's the number one thing out here, even with people that live here. So I can only imagine what it's like for people that are coming to visit.
That's fair.
Yeah. All right. So, what's some advice you might have for someone trying to get into the industry?
Some advice? That's a good question. There's so many things. Number one thing is networking. Try to find people that are like-minded. Try to find people that you wouldn't really think that you would network with. Like, get out of your comfort zone with a lot of stuff and just do it. You're going to get a lot of no's. You're going to get a lot of people that are like, "Why are you doing this? Why should I?" Just do it. Just get it done. If you can't, if you can't find somebody to help you out with it, do it yourself until you can. Um, and that goes for like people trying to make short films and stuff. Of course, you want a budget. Of course, you want a big crew. If you don't have it, just do it yourself, and you'll get people's eyes on you. It becomes important.
Yeah, it's great. I'd love to talk to your buddy who did the Mean One and Mickey's Mousetrap. That's coming.
Yeah, for sure. I'll even see. Maybe you guys might want to interview him in the future.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. I have a separate show that I interview people in the horror world. So
okay.
I'd love to talk to him.
For sure. Let me see where he's at right now. But yeah, my boy, his name is Steve Lamar. Definitely into that world, and he was a brilliant mind when I was working with him. And just seeing him do all this stuff now, I read an article that was like number one like web review type or web search for the Mean One. I'm like, Steve did this. This is amazing. And he's definitely been about his stuff.
Also, I just followed you on Instagram, so we'll connect there too.
We're cool. We're friends now. Hey, look at that.
Hey, all right. So another hard question for you here. Okay. Hoodlins versus the Muppets, and it's a group of 10 on 10.
Oh man, I don't want to get in trouble with the Jim Henson folks. I know some good people over there.
I'm saying who wins in a fight.
But of course the Hoodlins are taking everybody down. So what people don't realize is that there's billions and millions of Hoodlins, and they're pretty much as wacky and zany as The Mask or as Freakazoid. So you never know. I mean, if it's a 10 on 10, you never know what these 10 guys are going to be doing. And they blow up a lot, but they always come back. So they're it's crazy. They're really crazy, and it's Hoodlins all the way. All the way.
Hoodlins are whooping that ass. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what is next for you?
What is next for me?
Any projects that you can actually talk about? Anything?
Yeah.
Any shows that you're gonna do that you're doing anytime soon?
So number one thing right now is the card game. So working on the Hoodlin card game. Me and my boy John might do another mixtape with the Hoodlins. And then also working on the series. So what does a Hoodlin series look like? We're working on that right now. And, this would be perfect content for Adult Swim, Comedy Central, even like a Hulu or something. So getting that all prepared now, and then striking by the end of this year. And then we have something big happening in Fayetteville, North Carolina too. That I can't talk about, but if you guys follow the Hoodlins or myself on social medias, you'll definitely see it. And this next thing will definitely take us to the next level with the guys. So hope you guys are just ready for a hostile takeover and a good ride.
Oh yeah.
100%. I'm ready for the hostile takeover.
Good.
I personally am submitting to my Hoodlin overlords.
You better, man, because they're woo. I don't know I don't want to know what would happen if you didn't.
I mean, it would be the same thing. It would be the same situation as if I were boxing you. I'd just get my ass kicked.
It would be worse. It would. I have mercy. You say stop. Okay, cool. But there's no safety word with these guys. They just keep going. So just be careful.
I was gonna get the taste beaten out of my mouth.
Yeah. It's like, what is this, COVID? But yeah, there's something. Oh, another thing. Like we have so much going on with them. Like we're even doing like prototypes for like what the toys look like for them. So working on toy designs, the card game. So much stuff. I even had a rug made from this recently. Can I show this real quick?
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
So I met this kid at Comic-Con, and he does the custom rugs. So I was like, you know what? It would be dope to have a Hoodlin rug. So I went back and forth with him. Got the design all right, and then he came in and showcased
What?
this amazing
That's
thing.
sick.
Wow.
Right? Really sick. So again, like the Hoodlins, easily a multi-million-dollar IP. It's just all about getting everything together now, and then once people start getting their eyes on it, the deals will start coming in to where we own it all right ourselves, and you'll see it. You'll see it everywhere, and that's what we want.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see this thing all over the place and just be like, yo, we were here on the ground floor, man.
Yeah, yeah. There's like a Instagram meme that's like, you missed your chance of meeting a successful artist or blah blah blah, and I really think that's the Hoodlins right now, and it's becoming bigger than myself, which is amazing to see. And I have people behind me that are just pouring into it. So it's the investment that's happening right now, and it's going to pay off pretty soon.
I dig it, man. I really do. I dig it. So last little bit right here, man. Where can everybody find you? Where can if anybody wants to learn more about Hoodlins?
Yeah, so I mean, you can follow us on Instagram at Hoodlin Mania. If you want to follow my personal page, it's at TallQ. So that's TALLQUE. If you want to find more about everything that we're doing, the production company behind this is called Bigfooters. Bigfooters, I created Bigfooters back in 2013. And like all the creative stuff that we have going on, from our animated shows to our live action to the Hoodlins to Ratchet Rachel, is all there. So bigfooters.co, BIGFOOTERS.co. That's where you can just keep tabs of us. And yeah, hopefully you guys you will see us more on social media and stuff. We're kind of taking a break from Instagram right now, just trying to get our whole stuff in order, and then we'll have some big releases happening later on this year.
Hell yeah, man. We're all excited for this. So we've got about 13 minutes left on the show here. Brandon, appreciate you coming on and talking with us for the last couple of hours here. We're gonna do a couple of minutes of brackets here before we wrap up the show. So Graveyard, what do we got going on, man?
Yes, so we are picking up back from the speedster bracket that we have. Just kind of saying who is the fastest speedster across different media that exists, not just Marvel, not just DC, anything and everything. So we're finishing up to get our final 8. So kind of first up we have the running guy versus the 100 cups of coffee Philip J. Fry of who's going to be faster.
Running guy was from the Tick, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going 100 cups coffee Fry.
Yeah, I'm going Fry too. 100%.
Oh, I'm definitely going Fry. Yeah, just like I said, the cartoon logic. He beat out Silver Surfer. Just because I said take away the board, the Surfer is just a guy, but he couldn't do 100 cups of coffee and become what Philip J. Fry did in Futurama.
Yeah.
Tater says
Fry
as well. Yeah. I think Fry's gonna take this one.
I think this is gonna be unanimous Fry on this.
Oh yeah. All right. So while we're waiting for other votes in case to come in, we'll move on to the next one, which is Shazam versus Speed. Who do you think's faster?
So I used to work for Zachary Levi, who is actually Shazam, and I have to say I have to say Shazam.
I see. Here's the thing, and this is my comic book logic coming in on this, right? So I think I'm going to go Shazam too, only because yes, Speed is fast, but it's been said that he's not as fast as his uncle. He's not as fast as some of the other speedsters that are in the Marvel universe. So I think I'm going to go with Shazam on this, just because Shazam can keep up with Superman. Shazam can keep up with some of the speedsters that are in that can break, like, that can run in time.
Right.
Like Shazam has been able to keep up with not with Wally West, but with Barry Allen.
Right.
And like Barry Allen, there's a book where Barry Allen's running and Shazam is just like flying next to him and it's just like, hey, how's it going? And he's like, wait, what the fuck? So it's like, so I think Shazam is gonna be my my vote on this. Looks like Darren Chibi's also saying Shazam. He's faster than lightning.
Yep, and Tater's saying
Tater
Shazam
also
as
saying
well.
Shazam.
I mean, not that my vote matters at this point in time, but I'm saying speed just because he was inherently born with it as opposed to getting it. So I think we discussed like the prime potential. I think prime speed may be faster than Shazam.
But see, at the same time, Shazam is endowed by the gods, and he's endowed by Mercury himself. So I think that also gives him kind of an advantage, is that he's getting his speed he's channeling his speed from the gods.
And then also he's still a kid at heart too. So he still has that time to grow into it.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas if it were Golden Age Flash, like if Golden Age Flash loses his helmet, he's not fast anymore. So that's a whole different type of endowment,
I don't think Billy Bastion is going to beat speed though.
I don't know. Billy Batson's pretty fast, man.
All right, so
you're still losing that because like that's two of us on here, and then the entire chat is.
I'm aware. I'm aware. All right, so Shazam is moving on. Next up, we have North Star, part of the Marvel's Canadian Wonder Twin Powers.
Yep.
Versus Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, Sonic the Hedgehog.
That was no hesitation.
No hesitation. North Star's not that fast.
Yeah, not that popular either. Yep.
North Star is so fast that he ended up on the Canadian team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Sonic is definitely going to beat that one out as well. As much as I want North Star to win it. Go Canada, right? All right.
Canada.
Yes. Sonic all the way, says Tater and Darren as well. So Sonic moves on.
I will shoot your fucking cat.
So here's the next conundrum that we're actually going to have. The Blue Boy Scout himself, Superman, versus Invincible.
Oh, okay. This does get hard because Invincible is basically Superman Prime, and or Superboy Prime, who technically Superboy Prime is faster than Superman.
I'm going to say Superman. I don't like DC characters that much, but it has Invincible. Have they rewind time? Have they been able to go back in time with their speed?
Not yet, but he's still fairly new.
Yeah,
and his dad is basically evil Superman.
Yeah,
I guess the question is, the stage is who's faster in space, realistically, where there's no anything to push off of. Is Superman faster in space than Invincible, or is Invincible faster?
They're both pretty fast in space. Because Invincible's but here's the deciding factor, right? Invincible, when he went into space to go and argue with his dad, he had to take a spaceship. Superman pretty much can just like fly from there to there, same way that his dad flew from there to there. Right. So I think in the end, at their prime, even if you get to them at their primes, I think Superman inherently is a full-blooded Kryptonian, the same way that Omni-Man is a full-blooded
Viltrumite,
right? Whereas Invincible is only half Viltrumite.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You know, like the only reason that Superboy Prime gets an advantage is because Superboy Prime is also a genetic experiment.
Right. I mean, just because you're half Viltrumite doesn't mean you're not faster. There's always been pieces that the offspring's more powerful than the parents.
I think the only character I've ever actually seen that with, and they wasted this character, was Gohan.
Gohan? Yes. God almighty. Don't even bring that up.
Yeah, Gohan for one saga was stronger than his dad, and then he gave up.
Do you think that Carnage is less powerful than Venom?
Less powerful than Venom?
Carnage is a different monster completely because he gains a lot of his power from the fucking insanity that is Cletus Cassidy.
Yeah.
Right. But that's Venom's offspring. You say you don't know anyone other than I think Carnage is more powerful. I think his weapon arsenal is more powerful as a symbiote than Venom.
But I with him being a symbiote, I think it's also the person that's controlling him, though.
Right. And because I mean, it is the advantage that Carnage has is, I mean, up until recently, he was the only symbiote that could synthesize bladed weapons.
Right.
They changed that with, again, we were talking shit about Sony earlier, but like, you know, they changed that with that first Sony movie because they let Riot create a sickle, and it's like, well, Riot can't do that.
Nope.
But hey, it changed.
Yeah. All right. So Phil, are you saying Superman or Invincible?
I say Superman.
Superman. All right, because you were the deciding vote there. Because I also said, no, I guess Taylor said as well. I said Invincible, just because I think the Blue Boy Scout is the Blue Boy Scout.
Darren said Invincible, and Darren's logic isn't bad. He's saying it's because Superman does rely on sun power, whereas Invincible just has that power.
Right.
But we're talking in their prime, and Superman in his prime no longer needs sun power, is invulnerable to magic, and is invulnerable to kryptonite. He's basically a god.
And invulnerable to good stories.
Well, that story actually was good because the whole point of that story was when you become a god and you outlive everybody, you know, how do you deal with the insanity of being someone who can't die?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the whole point of that story is it's like thousands of years in the future and he's the only being in the universe. Like, how is he not going insane?
Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Superman is moving on. I knew he was going to stay up there.
Yeah. But I mean, that was a good argument because Invincible is a good character for him to go up against you know, in this case.
Oh, yeah. All right. So that brings us to we have our top 8 now. So we're getting to our final 4. And this is where stuff's going to start getting even more interesting. First up, we have A-Train from The Boys.
Thank you.
Versus Quicksilver.
Oh.
Quicksilver.
I don't know because is A-Train on
Compound V?
On Compound V.
Well, I mean, if he's on it, then Quicksilver can be on it too.
But Compound V is not going to affect Quicksilver the same way.
It's not. Was he not genetically made into a speedster?
Technically, he's a mutant. So I mean, like,
is he though?
Oh, I guess now he's a fucking what's it called? He's an Inhuman, but I mean, like, still.
Mm-hmm.
I say Compound V is A-Train's weakness. It's his strength and weakness at the same time. He needs it. It's a drug.
Right.
So having to rely on that makes him the weakest one. And then you also see him competing against other people as well for that, at least in the show, for that top spot. So if other people are, you know, rivaling him like that, then
I see where you're going with this. Where Quicksilver is the end all be all for speedsters in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So then, with that logic, I'm probably going to go Quicksilver.
Yeah, I'm going. I love A-Train.
Yeah,
but I think Quicksilver is inherently faster.
Yeah.
I mean, just seeing him slow down time in the Wolverine movie or in the
X-Men movies, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's face it. A-Chain's essentially what if, Flash or Quicksilver, take drugs.
Darren said he just got interrupted by ads on Twitch. So where are we going next now?
Yeah, Quicksilver is moving on. A-Train made it pretty far.
He did. Hey, Darren, real quick. If you don't want ads on Twitch, subscribe. You don't have ads if you subscribe.
That's very true.
Yep.
And if you have a Prime account, you can subscribe for free.
You can subscribe for free if you have Amazon Prime, and you link it to Twitch Prime.
Yes. All right. Next up, we have the Roadrunner versus Cartoon Logic versus Omni-Man.
Ah, shit.
Who's faster?
Roadrunner has instant transmission basically because he can go from one place to another in an instant flash.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I don't want Omni-Man to lose the fucking Roadrunner.
A Roadrunner, yeah.
Yeah.
There's already saying Roadrunner.
I'm going to say Roadrunner too. I mean, that isn't his name, Runner. So
All of a sudden, the chat's back in the chat. Look at Say Wong's back. Jose Hawkins, welcome in. Thanks for giving us the
that's my boy, Jose.
love here. He said we've had a great show so far. Everybody's going Roadrunner, man. Fuck.
I'm sorry.
This is the joy of brackets, is because we pit these things. We answer the internet's most dire questions of who's fastest.
Yeah, and it's a bunch of nerds who actually like analyze these characters. So it's like,
Right.
Damn it, man.
Well, has the Roadrunner ever been caught by Wile E. Coyote?
No.
Yes.
Has he?
Yes.
I think there is a scene where he's actually like eating.
He does catch them. He's even teaching other people the dynamics of the Roadrunner. So the Wile E. Coyote understands the basics of what makes Roadrunner fast.
Well, because he is a super genius.
And he's also Coyote's also keeping up with Roadrunner in certain situations too when he's running.
True, he is.
But does that make the Wile E. Coyote faster than Omni-Man?
What?
No.
Faster than Omni-Man. Now, Omni-Man is basic. Again, we were talking about it earlier when we were talking about Invincible.
Mm-hmm.
Omni-Man has the same speed dynamics as Superman. So he can fly in space. He can fly. He can outrun. I mean, the dude literally killed every hero on Earth to the point before where they had to, remake or kind of like make a new Justice League.
Right.
He killed all their speedsters.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying Omni-Man's faster, but I think Roadrunner's winning this one.
Yeah, because I think I want to go with. I think I want to go with Omni-Man. Darren said that Roadrunner would humiliate Omni-Man.
I'm going to say Omni-Man just because of the last Space Jam movie that came out.
Yeah.
Roadrunner was being demolished by the other speedster on the team. So
Darren said he changed his mind. He's going Omni-Man.
All right, that means Omni-Man is moving on.
Yeah. Because this just means Omni-Man and Superman are going to go up against each other at some point.
That's going to be interesting. The question is, though, will 100 Cups of Coffee Fry beat out Shazam?
Yeah. All right, we're going back to cartoon logic.
Mm-hmm.
100 Cups of Coffee Fry is insanely fast.
And remember,
against Shazam.
Yeah. And remember, we're saying Prime. That's assuming that Fry is able to continue to figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
That's also saying that Fry can. He's a normal human, so it's saying that his body can sustain that over time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's an issue with speedsters, right? It's the reason Barry Allen dies. It's the reason Wally West dies. It's the whole reason that Bart Allen is dying is because he manipulates time with speed so often that it's literally shortening his life.
Yeah.
Right. So like that is part of the problem with being a speedster and him being a regular human being.
Yeah.
You know, like that's just gonna kill him way faster. So
I'm gonna propose this question: can Billy Bastion do 100 cups of coffee Fry and have the same results as opposed to Fry taking up the mantle of Shazam?
you
Anyone
know,
can be Shazam.
it's true. You know, what's funny is give Billy Batson 100 cups of coffee, and he's just gonna be a wired ass Billy Batson.
Yeah. True. I'm going to have to give it to Shazam. Number one, I hate coffee. And if we're going to talk about Compound V, it's basically Compound V for Fry.
Right.
So sorry, Fry. I love you to death, man. I love that episode, but you're not going to make that one, big guy.
Oh, Shazam's in the chats. What are you saying, Phil?
Oh yes, no. I'm going Shazam. Shazam is just taking it right now.
I'm going Fry.
I know how much you love that character. I know how much you love Fry, but
And, you know my love of all things DC.
yeah. I mean, if we want to really get into it, Shazam was a character before DC, so he just got bought out by DC.
Like you see.
Yeah. All right, we have to. We're at time. Let's do one more, so we'll
All
have
right.
our final four for next time. Sonic the Hedgehog versus Superman.
Oh, shit.
Ah.
I mean, we're getting into the top four, so we are going to get into the hardest ones, right?
I mean, it's not called Superman, the fastest guy alive. It's Sonic, the fastest thing alive.
Well,
the fastest thing on Earth.
He's been to space.
Okay, hold on. So, when we're talking Sonic here,
Mm-hmm.
are we talking regular Sonic, or when we talk Prime?
If you're
talking,
we're saying Chaos Emerald Field, because if you're going Superman thousands of years old, we're going Golden Sonic.
okay, so if we're doing Chaos Emerald Sonic, right, basically Super Saiyan Sonic,
yeah.
right, versus Superman Prime, which again is a god, is unstoppable. And remember, there are feats that he's done in the comics that are unimaginable. The dude moved a planet with his bare hands.
That's not speed though.
No, but I'm in zero gravity. That's a big deal. And the whole thing is,
Darren, Sonic is a comic book character as well as a cartoon.
But we're talking. Well, yeah, I'm going video games, but I mean, like,
I'm saying what feats do you think Sonic's done in the comics? If we're going comic book logic, that he's going to have the same comic book powers that Superman's going to have for speed, guarantee it.
He won't have the same powers as Superman. If we're talking Superman Prime,
for speed though,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think is Superman in his prime, where when he's Golden Superman, I don't think he'd be faster than Superman.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And I'm not like a huge Sonic comic book reader, so I don't know like what he's done like that. I know he's fast, but
I guarantee because I watch a lot of stuff that talks about the comic book characters and cartoons, and I guarantee in some point in the comic he went across the entire universe in a second. Guarantee this happened.
Yeah,
but so Superman though, that's the thing. Superman has literally flown to Krypton and back like within a day.
I'm gonna say Superman.
Yeah, I think if we're talking prime versions of characters, as much as I want to give it to Super Saiyan Sonic, you know, I think I'm going with Superman Prime.
I'm just looking up how fast is Sonic. He's 186,000 miles per second.
So what's the speed of light? That's the question.
According to Superman lore, Superman only goes 7,000 miles per hour. That is, if he's going 20 times that in a second.
Sonic is?
Yeah. So speed of light is speed of light is 100. Wow. Sonic is the speed of light.
Uh-oh. Well, I mean, hey, if logic is thrown in there, I'm not going to go against logic.
Okay, so the question is, Darren saying Superman can travel faster than the speed of light. Has that happened in the comics?
I don't know. That's what I'm looking up right now. Okay, so I just looked up something right now.
Mm-hmm.
I just put in: can Superman travel at the speed of light?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is yes. He has traveled across the galaxy in seconds. Can Superman the DC? In the extended universe, he can also travel at that speed. According to the comic books, Superman managed to travel 11 light years in just a few seconds, surpassing the speed of light by a significant margin.
Okay.
So if Sonic at his top speed is the speed of light, and Superman traveled 11 light years in a few minutes, and that makes him faster than the speed of light, by that logic, Superman is faster.
All right. That works then.
Superman it is.
Superman it is. Poor Sonic. You just go back and eat some chili dogs.
You know what? If he eats chili dogs and he just lets out a large fart, he could probably get that extra boost.
Yeah.
There you go. So for next time on Distance Nerding, the build, the final four are Quicksilver, Omni-Man, Shazam, and Superman.
You know what's funny is there's only one actual speedster in there. The rest of them are the rest of them are superheroes that have super speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? But because it's Omni-Man, Shazam, and Superman, and then Quicksilver, who is the fastest in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that none of the Scarlet Speedsters made it into the top four.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's surprising.
Did you guys put Goku in there?
Did I?
Instant trans. So it's actually.
Yes, I did. We said Roadrunner was faster than Goku.
And it was the cartoon logic thing that was on there. He convinced them all on that. Yeah. In the end, they said that instant transmission is not actually a measurement of speed. It's
teleportation.
It's teleportation.
Not, I mean, okay, instant okay, but he, also when he's fighting, when he fights, the zoom, 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 zoom all over the place.
My argument because I argued for Goku, like my argument was that he's so fast that the naked eye can't keep up with his movements, and that's why the fight scenes look the way they do in Dragon Ball Z, is because the only time that you see them is when they stop in between, like in between a block.
Yeah.
Right. Because they're so damn fast that they like you can't keep up with them, and they've explained that that they're so fast that the human eye can't keep up with their movements.
Yeah. All right, so that's what we have looking. We're still they're still talking Goku. They're still rooting for Goku, who's eliminated first round.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm
saying Goku. Or he said Roadrunner never slammed into a wall. Goku did plenty of times. It's true. He got thrown through many walls. And then Darren said when Goku goes Super Saiyan, he's unstoppable.
But we said Roadrunner was so fast, he was able to instantaneously vibrate his molecules fast enough to go between the mountain molecules, be able to pass right through it.
Yeah.
That sounds like some. Wait, where's Flash?
We had lots of Flashes on here.
Yeah, we had a couple different versions of Flash.
Roadrunner beat out Reverse Flash.
Oh wow.
Reverse Flash beat out Barry Allen. Omni-Man beat out Wally West. And then Shazam beat out Jay Garrick.
Okay.
Which, I mean, that was our logic, was Jay Garrick. Jay Garrick is not the fastest of the Flashes. Bart Allen is the fastest of all the three guys that
Mhm.
wore the red costume, and
Gotcha.
and Bart Allen wasn't even on the list. So, because was Impulse on the list at all?
No, because I only had 32. I wanted to not have just 80 DC guys on
You
here.
just 80 flashes because there's
Right.
there's like fucking 4 different flashes. So
Accelerate from Ben 10. That would have been a good one.
Ooh.
You know, his alien form for speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's he's one of my favorite speedsters.
keep that for the next one. So next week we've got the final 4. What bracket do you have lined up for that? Do we have one lined up for after that?
Yes. While I'm working on getting images and stuff like that, I did take Say Wong's idea of survival horror games,
Ooh.
and I'm going to start using those to create, so we can put up pictures, we can show people what's going to be the scariest, most scare-worthy creatures. However, while doing that research, I also created a list of survival horror franchises to see what are scarier.
Ooh. So what is God? What was House of the Dead?
If you consider House of the Dead to be a survival horror, that's the question.
Yeah.
When you essentially have unlimited ammo, is it really survival?
True. So then we'd be going back to well, I guess the newer ones got even more in there, but Resident Evil, Silent Hill.
Yeah, I can give a quick little preview before we
I want to
end
throw
the show
Dead by
tonight.
Daylight in there, but I mean Dead by Daylight's kind of
It's survival horror.
Yeah.
So we have Alone in the Dark franchise, Soma, The Quarry, Dead by Daylight, Evil Within, System Shock, Dead Space, Until Dawn, Resident Evil, Madison, Silent Hill, Fatal Frame, Amnesia, Condemned, Clock Tower, PT, Five Nights at Freddy's, Outbreak, Last of Us, The Forest, Sweet Home, the OG survival horror game. So I had to throw the OG one on there. Dino Crisis, Outlast, Siren, the Alien series, Eternal Darkness.
Dino Crisis is considered a survival
horror. Absolutely, it's Resident Evil but with dinosaurs.
I guess.
Okay, but what about Oregon Trail?
That is actually survival horror. He's not wrong there.
Oh yeah, it is and isn't. Only one person needs to survive, and that's you. Everyone else can die. You just have all the food for yourself. That's how you beat the game. Let everyone else die.
And that's some scary shit.
Oh yeah. So that's what we have coming up. Nightmare Creatures. Yes, except I consider Nightmare Creatures is a fantastic game, but it is a beat 'em up more so than anything else. I love Nightmare Creatures to no end.
All right. Well, that is it from us this week. One more time, Brandon, go ahead and give everybody your pluggables. Let everybody know where they can find you. Put yourself over.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Instagram under Hoodlin Mania or Talk Q. And also, if you guys want to contribute or volunteer through the nonprofit that I run, Create Now Arts on Instagram. If you need me for anything, reach out. And yeah, you guys, this was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me be a part of this, Young Phil, Graveyard. If you guys ever want me to come back on or do anything out here in LA, you have a home here for me.
Oh man, it's been our honor. And anytime you want to come on, you just let us know, man. Even if you just want to come and kick it, we're all for it.
Oh yeah.
All right, Graveyard. Put yourself over, sir. Let everybody know where you're at.
I am Graveyard, co-host of the Mostly Pod Out Night Mostly podcast.
They mostly
Pod
at night. Mostly.
New episodes drop every Wednesday over at Comic-Con Radio, along with this great show that you're watching, along with Geek Saga, part of the Comic-Con Radio Network. You can follow us on all social media at Pod Out at Night. We have a YouTube channel, Instagram, all that stuff. So make sure to check that out. Check out our YouTube show. We interview people in the horror industry. It's been a tremendous fun. Last night, I have the new production company that I helped start, Horror Raven, on there last night, just to introduce the world to who we are, what we're doing, all the great stuff we have planned coming out for 2024. So make sure to check that out. You can find me here, Distance Learning, every Thursday with the build. You can see me harassing Phil on Mondays when he's gaming. You can see me on a short hiatus from Distance or Kyber Cave this month as I'm prepping and gearing up for the horror movies that we are working on right now. So make sure to check out Kyber Cave Productions as well, only on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, like Graveyard said, on Mondays, schedule wise, on Mondays we're doing game streams 8 to 12. I just started Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It's been a great game, so if you guys want to check that out, come and hang out with us, and you can turn on AI Phil and make me say whatever the hell you want. It is both entertaining and scary at the same time, because it's weird how that thing has my inflections down. Not only that, of course, Tuesdays the download where we talk news, rumors, and reviews and everything like that, and then of course the show you're watching right now, the build, on Thursdays. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, you can connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, Discord, MySpace, Vine, GeoCities, Friendster, Second Life, AIM, Farmers Only, Christian Mingle, OnlyFans. It's only pictures of Aaron Watson's feet and mandals and the beard. Sans graveyard. It's no graveyard in the picture at all. It's just the beard.
Yep.
All at Distance Nerding. And of course, if you'd like us to break up with your boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, pet, schoolyard bully, annoying neighbor, or just tell us how much you enjoy us, hate us, or wish the internet would consume us completely and spit us out at the feet of an alien, a xenomorph. Yeah, let's go with that. Xenomorph. Send us an email at hold on. I wasn't ready. No. Send us an email at dist nerding at AOL.com, and we will read it on the show. Brandon, if you didn't catch that, if you notice there's a big gap between the T and the A.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's why I say it that way. All right.
Good job.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us this week. As always, remember, thanks and keep nerding together. It is now time for the dance party. Let's get this going.
Did you warn Brandon about this?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
He's like, wait, there's a warning? Watch.
Nice.
And I got the cheap versions of them. Mamma mia! It's me, Mario!
Oh man, Thanos versus Mando.
I know, right?
See everybody next week!